welcome to Lean In Leander. I'm your host, Andrew Naudine, and in this episode, I want to tell you about the chocolate cake method and the Texas technique. And if you think we're going to be talking about baking, well, you're kind of right. I had the great pleasure of sitting down with Pete and Becky over at Acre Farms, and we found out about their small little farm here in Leander, Texas, that makes a much bigger impact on the community than what you would think at first blush. So if you're interested in them, if you'd like to learn a little bit about farming here in Texas and Leander specifically, stick around for the Texas technique because it's a really interesting thing that Becky is doing. And again, if you're a backyard gardener, this is something that I think you'd have an interest in. So I will talk to you when we're done with the episode. So here it is, episode 27, Lean In Leander. All right, so we're out here at Acre Farms, and I'm sitting here with Becky and Pete, and we're going to talk a little bit about Acre Farms and a couple of the projects that they have going, and hopefully this is something that you guys will pick up on because I think it's a really, really neat opportunity to learn how to farm. We'll be talking about that later. So, Pete, Becky, thank you both so much.
Yes, welcome to the
farm.
farm.
So
yeah.
Let's be honest, this is the second time we've done this.
That's okay.
That's how life's supposed to be.
We do videos too. We know how it goes.
Tried the first video. It was in the middle, actually in the late afternoon. It was super hot. Cameras overheated. No video. So here we are again. Cooler morning.
Yes.
We've learned.
So we've learned our lessons. Yes.
He didn't get the program yet, but we're utilizing some of those.
Some of the things.
We'll figure some of these things out. Okay.
Yes.
So again, a pleasure. Thank you guys so much, and I've enjoyed talking to you the past couple of days. It's been a lot of fun. So Acre Farms, where I met you guys initially, was at the farmers market over in Smooth Village.
Correct.
And one of the things, Pete, that you introduced me to was microgreens.
Yes.
So what I want to do is let's rewind a little bit from there and tell me how you guys got started with all this. Because as I understand it, it was a neighborhood farm, like in your front yard, basically?
Correct. So we moved into Leander in about 2013 over in County Glen subdivision. There's no HOAs there. There are state lots. And so we had lived in a pretty heavily treed lot, 60 plus trees in the back, another 30, 40 in the front, but the front side faced south. And we had our oldest child, and we decided to change our lifestyle, our eating habits, and started to grow food. And that's kind of where it all
we were just we wanted to feed her healthy, and so we were just kind of looking for things that what is healthy food. And we just started to notice there was a lot of chemicals and preservatives and different things that they put in the food system, and just didn't vibe with us when we were trying to feed our children like how you're supposed to feed them. And so that was our ultimate goal, was to totally homestead it out, have animals, have
on a half-acre plot in the
and
middle
all
of
this.
Leander.
So we started with the easiest, which was vegetables,
right?
And just really took off with it there, and we got to a point where we were able to cut that out of our grocery budget. We didn't have to buy vegetables at the store anymore, and then we started feeding our neighbors and our friends and family.
Bartering with neighbors.
Bartering,
They were hunters.
Hunters across the way. So
that's interesting.
So it was a nice little. We had meat. They had veggies.
That's very
interesting.
So that's way old school, right?
Yeah.
Well, farming in itself is a lost trade,
Yeah.
and so that's old school in a form.
So this is like old school before schools were even schools.
Yes.
So that's way old.
Well, what was really fun was the hunters across the street from us would dress the deer in the front yard, and then carry over the bleeding rack of ribs to our house.
Wow.
And we're like, oh,
here you go.
Okay, we're gonna do this. So,
wow.
So it was literally pioneer days. They were the hunters, we were the
gather. Well,
I guess the farmers.
Yeah.
You're agrarian. They were the hunters. Gatherers.
And so it was a nice little community type thing going
That's
on.
Interesting.
And so it's Acre Farms, plural, because the concept was to duplicate this on other property within town versus going out of town and buying land, because that was kind of defeating the purpose of keeping it here in Leander. So we went looking for land, and we came across a lady by the name of Karen Thompson, and little did we know whose door we were knocking on at that point.
Right.
And we came to a nice mutual agreement on she needed somebody to help maintenance and farm her land, and we needed land to kind of farm. And so
Nice.
it was a mutual benefit for our idea and concept at that point, and what she had going on at that point as well. Acre Farms took off.
So that's where we are now, right?
That's correct.
Here. So
Yeah.
when you first approached Karen, you didn't know her, I'm
No.
assuming.
At all.
And what attracted you over here? Was it just the fact that you saw some land and you're like,
No, across the street are a couple of greenhouses that are out of shape right now, and so we were like, well, hey, there are these out of shape greenhouses. Like, who owns those? Like, we can put them back up to par and stuff. And so we could never find the person who was living there. Every time we went by, they weren't there. Yada yada. So we found out that Karen owned that property over there,
okay.
and she lived over here. And so we literally just came knocking on her door looking for the greenhouse owner. And she said, as soon as she opened the door, she said, Pete, what are you doing outside, Pete? Get inside. I don't know why you're outside. And so Pete looks at her and she says, can I help you? And he says, well, how do you know my name? And she goes, well, unless your name's Pete, I was talking to the dog. And he goes, my name is Pete.
My name is Pete.
That is a
And
great story.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
she was like, well, let's
so,
talk.
So after all that, well, there was 2 Petes on the property, and so Pete was the original.
Right.
This guy is not. So then she ended up nicknaming me Farmer Pete.
Farmer Pete.
And so then
Hence the name.
Since that's,
hence
yeah,
the nickname,
so,
and we
That
ran
is
with
a
it.
great
And
story.
yeah.
Okay, now you guys, y'all need to lead with that because that is such a great story. And if you know Karen Thompson, you know kind of some of the history of Leander. You know who she is.
Correct,
My
correct.
audience is somewhat familiar with her, but
Yeah,
in
yeah.
case you're watching,
No,
this,
we
you
were
don't know
truly
who she
blessed
is.
to cross paths with her. So
Yeah.
Right. So Karen Thompson was basically the historian for
Right.
Leander. She
Mhm.
kept a lot of history here in the city, and I interviewed Kat
Yes, her
a
daughter.
few episodes ago, who's her daughter.
Yeah.
carrying on.
I think
that
she's
legacy.
kind of filling in
Yeah.
those shoes
Yeah.
now. Yeah.
Yeah. those
So
big
that's
shoes to
funny
fill.
how, and that's one of those, for me, I would say, that's kind of one of those nice little things that's that community, that small
Yes, small
town kind of
community.
community
Yeah.
where people know each other and you get to make those connections.
Yeah.
Which is, I know a lot of people here in Leander, and I'm going to go off on a little tangent here, but a lot of people here in Leander want to hold on to that,
Yes.
you know, and I can understand why.
Totally.
You know, but there's always going to be these types of examples where, you know, hey, these are the kinds of things that you can do in a smaller-ish city.
Right.
The reality is, you know, we're going to be at 100, 200,000 people in the next few years.
In
the next
So,
few
you know,
years.
it's not
We're
going
pretty
to
close
be
to it anyway.
quite that way anymore. But we can preserve things like this.
Yes.
And I think
Or
Acre
attempt
Farms.
to, correct, yes.
No, I think it's a great example of what can be done when you find mechanisms to combine the rural and the urban and work
integrate
together,
them.
integrate the
Correct.
two, instead
Yes.
of having to go one way or the other.
Yes.
Exactly.
You know?
So that was like, we could leave town and go farm in the country
And produce more.
and produce
like,
more, and,
yeah.
but it defeats the purpose and the benefits of living within a community such as
Mhm.
Leander.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's backwards, and you know your carbon footprint, the distance to from where we grow it to your table is a couple of blocks, 5
Mhm.
minutes away.
Mhm.
It's just I don't understand that, but I do like that, like keeping it here
Yeah.
in town, like
Yeah.
where it's hyper local, like
Yeah,
you
no.
say, it's super local.
Absolutely. I think hyper-local is something that I think if more and more people understand exactly what you're saying when you're talking about that, you're talking about really the same infrastructure that exists on a larger scale.
Mhm.
You're just bringing it down to this very small
Correct.
scale
Yes.
where, you know, people who are aware and people who want to participate in that kind of ecosystem
Correct.
can,
Mhm.
right?
Yes.
Correct. And then, yeah, that's what one of the things when Karen told me a long time ago, that it was a small business, mom and pop business. That's the backbone of the economy.
Sure.
And so she was all about, like, yes, do that. And she supported it, and we went with it. And it was to move forward from that and to try to just continue to grow, like, not necessarily expand, but to our understanding and our
Mhm.
concepts and our principles on how to continue to produce more and to share that with others is in this community is really tight knit. Like it's there to help you grow.
No, it's really cool. And again, I'm so glad, because one of the things that when my wife and I moved to Austin from Houston, one of the things we did early on was just kind of start to explore and see what was going on. And we found the farmers markets right away. And for us, that was a conscious decision as well.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we decided, you know what, we're going to source as close to the actual source as we possibly can, because, you know, yeah, it's easy to go to the big box grocery stores and get everything that you need. But, you know, once we started doing that, once we started, you know, eating locally grown vegetables and, you know, buying directly from farmers, you know, whether it was beef or poultry or pork or whatever, the difference in the taste and the
quality,
and the quality of that,
and knowing who, and what.
Absolutely, and it maybe it's a little bit psychosomatic, like you feel a little bit more comfortable about the purchase, maybe.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, no, and especially like if the person that you're buying it from, the farmer, is passionate about what they're doing, then it resonates with you, and it like there's a connection there.
Absolutely, and from the culinary perspective there, because I'm not a chef, but I like to play around. In the kitchen. I think it translates to the ultimate, to the dish.
Correct.
Because of that passion.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of hippy dippy, but
No. Speaking of, I've gone to a couple of conferences, you know, in pursuit of education, right? And I always ask the person there. To me, it's the same. What came first, the chicken or the egg? What came first, the farmer or the chef?
Right.
Like, I don't know. And they're always like, I don't know.
It's an interesting question.
It's an interesting question.
That is an interesting question.
Because it's the same principles, but
it is.
Was I growing it for you to cook it better, or were you cooking it better because you found something that was
I think that
worth
kids,
cooking better?
Yeah, I think that kids are the ultimate though, because they don't know. They don't know really quite yet. And so they only are just really going off their palate, like really. They don't have the mental, like, oh, it came from there, or it came from that, or whatever. Mm-hmm. But you could definitely do a blindfolded taste test with kids. And they'll tell you 100% of the time that whatever farm fresh they're picking is going to taste better than what's at the store. Now, you know, the store stuff comes from farmers and local farmers, so that's not a problem.
No.
But the thing is that the longer it's off the vine, the less nutrient value, the less flavor and taste. And so, you know, sometimes you can see on there the tomatoes were packaged 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
You know, and so
there's also I mean, I'm sure there's been plenty of documentaries and stuff like that about that you know, when they're harvesting in the larger agribusiness sense of it. Yeah. They have to account for logistics. Yeah. So something like bananas are always a great example, because when they pick bananas, they're literally green off of the tree. Yeah. Because they have to be shipped,
transport time.
They have to be transported and everything. So by the time, yes, they get to the store green, but they were picked really way ahead of that.
Yeah, they ripened during transport.
Absolutely.
To get to you.
And I think the same thing applies to other stuff as well.
Oh, yeah.
So, and you gotta get it, honestly, you kind of got to get used to it, because like you guys gave me, what did you give me yesterday? You gave me
lemon cucumbers.
Lemon cucumbers.
Correct. How are they?
Never had. Still haven't eaten them. Oh, okay. I sat them on the counter. My wife was like, "What are these?" I was like, "They're lemon cucumbers." And she was like, "Okay, well, what do they taste like?" I go, "Cucumbers? I don't know."
That's exactly what they taste like.
Cucumber.
Yeah, so I told somebody that the other day. I was like, "They are cucumbers. They taste like cucumbers." And they go, "So do they taste like lemons?" And I was like, "No, cucumbers."
Just a look. Just a look. And, I mean, it's like squash. I mean, they all kind of vary.
Yeah, but it's fun.
So here on Isle Acres, you guys, you know, have lots of different things growing, and you do every Wednesday afternoon from 3 to 6. Like an open farm stand
at the top of the property.
Which is really cool.
Yeah.
And I don't know that a lot of people really recognize what it is that you're doing there every Wednesday, because it took me a couple of trips by.
Yeah. We don't have.
We get a lot of that.
We don't have a publicized commercialism,
right?
Yeah.
Just advertising.
So we do our best to do that, but
maybe get one of those flippy sign guys out there.
Oh, those dancing guys, the crazy guys. Our kids love those. They're like,
yeah.
I thought about dressing like that for Halloween.
Okay.
But Wednesdays
3 to 6. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And what you're producing here on the farm is specifically what you're selling.
Yes. Yeah. And so that's what's in season.
Yeah. We pride ourselves on.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead. Yeah, on what's produced here gets sold here, and we do partner with a couple of other farmers that have the same ideology and principles that we follow as far as food production. and that's like eggs and meat, because we don't do that on the property.
Mm-hmm.
But
We do not sell those.
we
at
do
our
not
public
sell those
farm
up
stand.
there. Yeah, that's on our first options, which are closed right now. It's our CSA option, because we have a couple of outlets for all our food.
Right, and I
Right.
want to talk to you a little bit more about that CSA, because we
Yeah.
chatted a little bit about it yesterday, but
Correct.
not enough. I think.
Right,
So I do
right.
wanna
Yeah,
kinda
so
bring
so
up that.
we'll let's rewind and kind of just go over. So our Acre Farm produces food for our CSA, for our farm stand, for restaurants, and then whatever is not sold or moved within a week's time frame, we donate to Hill Country Community Ministries.
Wow.
Now, we try to move everything, right, because that's our income, right?
Right.
And then the donations go, and then I don't know how many more people they get it out to, a couple of hundred from what I understand. So it gets all the way to, what towns does she go out to? North?
Florence, for sure.
For
Wow.
sure.
Mhm.
So it moves outside of Leander. And, but
Pete's a lot more talkative today than he was yesterday,
Yes.
right?
Yeah, it's super
Filled up
early.
on coffee.
And I'm super with coffee, and
Oh goodness!
so
You're gonna have to edit this whole portion.
Oh,
of this.
that's fine.
No.
We'll figure it out.
So CSA, so yeah, the 4 levels of where our outlets are. So our CA is the one, and that's the one that we partner with our eggs and meat.
And
then the farm stand is strictly vegetables.
we only grow
produced
it here. It's our values. Of,
Yeah. And so it's only grown here. And it moves up there. The only people touching it is myself and her, and then the customer. And it's usually 24, or the day of, the day before.
Mm-hmm.
And so that freshness, and there's no pesticides, there's no sprays, chemicals, or anything. So
You guys are all organic as far as
organic
We're not-
practice,
organic practice. We're not certified organic, but we tell you like it is. Like,
Yeah.
You're gonna find what you're looking for here.
Right.
So,
Correct. Yeah.
And the reason you're not certified organic is because that process is very cumbersome, from what I understand. Right?
It is. There's a lot of like cross your T's and dot your I's,
Yeah.
and we just haven't really found the absolute necessary need for it, because it's a label, really, honestly, really.
Right.
And if you're coming out to the farm stand, you're going to get to know us, and that's the most important part. And you're going to know our values, and they're going to coincide with your values. And so I don't need to put a sticker on it to be able to do that for you.
Gotcha.
So.
Correct.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Makes sense. So let's take a step back. Tell me a little bit more about CSA, because this is like a conglomerate, like a group of farmers. Are they all urban farmers, or are they some rural?
So the CSA stands for Community Supported Agriculture. So the community supports the agriculture, right? So they pre-purchase their weekly basket of vegetables for the year, and so they're kind of like members of the farm, right?
Gotcha.
So we have also partnered with 2 other farms that are not urban farms. They are local. One is called Bountiful Acres. They are in Liberty Hill, and they're our meat farmer. Real close friends with them. And then we have an egg producer called Humble Rooster, and they're in Bertram.
Yes.
So they're very
Yes.
close. They're just not super urban like what we are.
Right.
And so we provide those as add-ons to our CSA members. On occasion, it's starting. Bountiful Acres is coming out too. So we've done a little pop-up Saturday farm stand, and he's come out for that. So we do kind of help them. We mention them and share them and all this kind of stuff for people who are looking for those other items. So we don't sell them here, because one of our biggest values is that you're going to learn who your farmer is. And so we really kind of frown upon reselling.
Mm-hmm.
So, and even though we're closely knitted with them, we don't want you to see that we're selling their product for them.
Yeah.
So
So we receive no funds of that. It's strictly between them two.
Right.
This is just a pickup
we're
location.
a pickup location and
Right.
a
For that
connection
customer.
for
No,
those
that
farms.
makes sense, because the chicken guys,
Bountiful Acres.
Bountiful Acres. I know that I met him over
Yes.
at the Leander Market, and I know Humble Rooster from Lakeline.
Yes.
Correct,
Yes.
correct.
Okay, which I literally do not buy chicken anywhere else.
Yeah.
Between their eggs and their chicken and the broth,
Oh, they're real good. They're a real good
it's
family, and
Yeah.
the family's real nice.
super nice people.
Principals are really great.
Super
Yeah,
nice people.
definitely.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
met them like almost 6 years ago.
Yeah, so we have
Yeah.
we have have connected with quite a few of the farmers that are in the area.
Interesting. That's cool, because again, like when we moved out here, one of the things we wanted to do, as I mentioned, is maybe kind of be a little bit more locally supportive. And when you're coming from Houston's just so massive. It's just really not a real easy thing to do. But when we got here, we're like, okay, we can actually buy from farmers and stuff like that. So let's do that.
Yeah.
Let's make sure that we kind of keep our
Yeah.
our dollar
Local.
helping
Yeah.
the local community. which is great to know that I've done that inadvertently, because
Yeah.
I know all of those guys. I buy from all of those
Well,
guys.
you know,
That's
there's
fantastic.
actually not that many farmers around
in this,
in this area. Like even the outside ones, like you know, so there's a lot of farmers markets that are trying to start to have different days of the week, different areas and locations, but having a hard time because the farmers are already set to certain farmers markets, and there's like not much more, and there's really not that many people that are popping up with new farms.
Right.
So, so the ones you kind of see are the ones that are there.
Right.
So,
No, that makes sense. That
Yeah.
makes sense. But it's really cool. I mean, I'm still kind of dumbfounded by the fact I didn't realize you guys were here.
Yeah.
And I mean,
Super
I
cool.
live really close by.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
drive by this all the time.
It's something that we've kind of struggled with because we are hidden from like the beaten path, so you can't actually see the farm from the road.
But we're on like
We're on the
busiest street in
busiest road. We are
Leander.
on Hero Way. Like
Yeah.
I can walk to HEB in 5 minutes.
Just
Like,
wait.
I could walk to City Hall in like 4.
Yeah.
When they finish the 2243 project,
Oh.
you guys are going to have that
Yes.
much more traffic.
We have a sign up there on the
Tons,
road, like, you know, but but our hours are not open to the public all
Right.
the time.
Right.
And so, so it kind of does make it challenging for people to kind of really find us. So we definitely like the word of mouth. So spread the word.
Yep. So
So-
3 to 6.
3 to 6 on
Wednesday
Wednesdays when
afternoons.
you can get your vegetables.
If you can't make it yourself, have someone come out and pick up your veggies.
Yeah.
Because I just figured this out. I have a hard time keeping my veggies fresh. So I'm
Right.
coming on Wednesday.
Yes.
Wednesdays 3 to 6. Red, white, and blue banner
Tent.
tent.
You said that yesterday too.
Red, white, and blue tent. Our banners out there. Hero Way and Broadway
Yes.
across the street from
Sky Living.
Sky Living.
Yep.
So it's right before you get to the turn for Old Town Leander.
Yes.
Right
Okay,
before
so
you
just
hit that
right
light,
before
like there's a block of
Walkway.
open
It's
lot.
not at a light. So
Not
that
at a light.
confuses people too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's at a. It's,
I remember one of the first times I tried to get into Old Town, I came down this street.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
on the GPS
like a
takes
cut
you this
street.
way.
it takes you. Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah,
GPS takes you
Yeah.
this way, and I'm like, where is
Interesting.
I get to in a minute.
Yeah.
Anyway, okay. So
But yeah.
I digress. We're off topic.
Okay.
Okay, so let's get back to the farm. So there's a couple of other things I found really fascinating about what you guys do, and one of those is like education courses. So you partner with, I think, like some homeschools and things of that nature. Tell me a little bit more about
So
that.
we actually do farm classes for kids, and they happen in the spring and the fall because it's cool. Not so much in the summer; kids die.
yeah.
No,
It's warm.
Figuratively speaking.
It's warm.
It is very
Yeah.
warm, and they can't hang too well. So we don't do it in the summertime, but it's just a chance for them to come out and like actually learn what we do. So we don't use any chemicals or sprays or any heavy machinery. It's all hand tools. So it's a really safe environment for them to be able to come out and enjoy it. And they really connect really well with their vegetables. So we don't have any farm animals. We're not attracting kids with the animals. We're just making vegetables cool. You know, so like they come and they get to taste it. They try different things that they've never tried before, or things that they hate. They try it, they like it because they can actually taste the difference, right?
And see it. in
And
front
see
of
it, and they're connected to it. So we offer those. We actually just finished a farm camp. It was our first one, so we had a lot of fun with it. We'll do it again next year.
A lot of recovery time.
A lot of
It
recovery
was
time.
busy.
We're all
Those
exhausted.
kids kept us busy.
Man.
I can imagine.
It was fun though. It was
yeah.
fun. Super fun.
But we do classes for adults too. Like we just did one in May. We partnered with Sanctuary Holistic Kitchen from Georgetown. And she came out and we did a pick your own and learn how to ferment. And so that was really fun. So we'll do that again in the fall. But just different various types of classes like that. We also do offer farm tours so people can come and take a look at the farm, see where it's grown, see how we do it. Like,
Yeah.
you know, so you can really get super connected with where your food is coming from.
Yeah, if it's a thought that you might have, that you like, oh, maybe it's something I might want to pursue. Like, we're here so you can come and see if this is something that's in your future,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
and then move forward with classes. And
No, that's really, really cool. And it kind of brings us, great segue, guys. Great setup.
Mm.
Kind of brings us to one of the things I wanted to point out here was, Becky, you have started the Texas Technique.
Yes.
So tell me what you're
Yes.
doing there.
So the Texas Technique is our first online gardening course. So we're super excited. It just launched today, but when you guys see this video, it'll already be open for about a week or so. And it is literally how to garden specifically in Texas. So Texas has what I call unique qualities that makes it really challenging. And so we have a lot of newcomers to Texas who are from other different states, and they come and maybe are experienced gardeners. And they come here and they are just like, oh my gosh, I don't know how to handle this. It's totally different from where I'm from. And, you know, they're just completely dumbfounded. And so we've only ever grown vegetables in Texas. So we took our skills and knowledge and put it into this technique and method so that people feel more comfortable. They know what to do when they go outside and how to handle what all Texas brings at them. So
that's super, super interesting, because one of the things you mentioned to me yesterday was, I guess it's a volunteer or someone that works with you.
Yes.
Who is the term you use.
Yes. Okay. So we had our very first volunteer, a lady friend of mine, and she came here and he was like, hey, so what is your experience? And she said, oh, I'm actually a master gardener, which is a course, like you get certified as a master gardener. And we just could not be like more blown away that our very first volunteer is a master gardener, right?
Yes.
We're like, yes, we're going to do a lot.
Thank you for
And
all your work too. I love
yes,
you.
she looked at Pete and she goes, well, it doesn't mean crap because I'm from Oregon. I can't do anything here. I don't know anything, and I'm here actually to learn from you.
Yeah.
So
I asked her, so she goes, I have an idea, but
No, that's great. I
Yeah,
mean,
so-
transferable skills for sure.
for sure.
yes.
You know.
But, you know, she was an experienced gardener somewhere else and just could not figure out how to do it here in Texas. And soil's weird, weather's weird. And so in this Texas technique, I combine all that for you and put it all, you don't have to go out and Google how to garden in Texas. This is all it. And I lay it out there for you.
That's very, very cool. And it's actually, when we first chatted and you told me about that, I was like, oh my God, that's a great idea. Because again, if we take the clock and go back a little bit on the clock, you know, we were 2020 and the crazy, you know, COVID pandemic, and people are, you know, at home and, you know, working on their backyard and all that stuff. And me specifically in this case, and I know a number of my neighbors started, you know, vegetable gardens. Again, show my age. I referred to it as a victory garden because that's how I knew it. That's what I knew the term. I was like, I'm going to do a victory garden. My wife was like, what? And I was like, I had to explain to her where that came from.
Victory Garden 2.0.
Right, exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. But so I did that first year, and I learned my lessons. You know,
Yeah.
I learned the whole thing. Like I was saying yesterday, that the wasps are good. Don't kill the wasps. I made the mistake of killing wasps. I ended up with green hornworms in my tomatoes.
Yeah.
Which, if I had left the
the
wasps
wasp,
alive, that wouldn't have happened. So you learn things like that. I think it's super interesting. But your course would be perfect for people like me,
Yes.
who have dabbled a little bit, but maybe kind of, okay, I want to know how to do this a little bit better.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
I want to be more productive. I want to be, again, organic and not use pesticides and stuff
push
like
those
that.
limits.
Yes.
And push
Yeah.
those limits,
Yeah.
and learn a little bit as well.
Yes.
So,
And it's even good for like a brand new gardener. Like not even just somebody who's already done it, because I kind of give you a place to start.
mhm.
I mean, you're in Texas right now, and so you need to know those things, even if you're just going to plant a seed in the ground. So I give you the chocolate cake method, which is the way of learning all about your soil and how to take care of it and what to add to it and all sorts of stuff. So, I mean, just even starting right there, you know, it's really good for new beginners too.
That's awesome. That's
Mhm.
awesome. So for people who have transplanted to Texas from
Mhm.
other areas, one of the things that they may not realize, and this is what we talked about yesterday with a friend from Oregon, was that the seasons here, the actual growing seasons,
is all year
are,
round.
it's the whole
year-round.
year.
Yeah.
You can grow things all year
All
long.
year,
You just
yeah.
have to know what to grow.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
when to grow it, which I also give you this in here too. You get a whole planting plan of when to plant, what to plant for the whole year. So you get all access to that as well. And because it's kind of crazy.
And
That,
this is something that we've worked on going on 10 years now.
Mm-hmm.
And 6 years, we'll be celebrating the 6-year anniversary in August
of the business.
of the business. And so you're getting all that, like our trials, tribulations.
No,
Yeah,
absolutely.
from like
Boom,
people
boom,
who
boom,
are
boom.
doing it constantly,
Yeah.
every day, all year.
Hey.
We have to
Yeah,
take
yeah, 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 yeah.
vacations. How do you do that? Like I don't go into detail on that, but seriously, like where you're just like, oh my gosh, how can we leave the farm? Because it's always
Right.
Yeah, right, right.
always
right.
working.
Right.
So I go all into detail about that too in the Texas technique. So there's the dirt path to
Don't
success
give it
in there.
all away.
I'm not.
No,
I'm
these
not.
are great.
It's
These
all-
are great.
it's
So
all
you
on the
have
page.
the Texas technique, the
Chocolate
Chocolate
cake.
cake method, the dirt path to success.
And these are
all
great
these fun things, yeah.
And you should, I mean, if you're, again, even if you're just a casual gardener, it would be super
Oh, yeah.
helpful.
Yes.
And bonus, local. Okay,
Yes.
so you're supporting a local small business.
Yes.
And you two are fantastic because I've gotten to know you over the past few days, and we had talked a little bit about at the markets, but never anything in detail.
Yeah.
So it's really, really neat to get to know you and see what you're doing here, and really try to encourage people. And I encourage all of you who are out there that if you are interested in learning about farming or learning how to just do your garden, it's Acre Farms, right? And it's Acre Farms with an S.com. Okay.
Yeah, there's a link on there that you can connect to it, or it's isleacrefarms.com/the-texas-technique.
So, also on Facebook.
Acre Farms on Facebook. And
there's links
at
there.
Acre Farms on Instagram. And yes, you will find the Texas Technique all over the place until June 25th.
So through the end of the month.
So 2 weeks it's open.
Okay.
And then I will close it. I'm trying to get some feedback since it's our first one. I'm going to get feedback, and if I need to do any upgrades or updates, I will do it at that point and then release it again. But as of right now, you only have 2 weeks.
Okay.
And actually, for this first week until June 18th, it is on sale.
Okay. So all right. So we're gonna try to get this up as quickly as we can.
Yes.
Okay. So guys, you'll have a little bit of time still left.
So if you see this,
and you're interested, jump on it right away. Like I said, look up isleacrefarms.com. We should be connected, so if you want to go through the Lean and Leander Facebook page, I believe that we're connected there.
Okay.
I know that we're connected on Instagram.
Okay.
So you can always use me as a resource to find them, which is cool.
Which is awesome.
And this has been great. I really have enjoyed doing this twice with you guys.
But that's you're learning.
I am.
Fall forward,
absolutely,
right?
Yeah.
Absolutely. I did definitely fall forward.
Yeah. We're definitely used to I use the term in the Texas Technique a lot. Move on.
Right.
We're used to that. So move on.
Chaos creates creativity.
Yes.
So without chaos, there is no creativity.
Yes.
So you need chaos.
The
to be
most
able
creative people that we know.
And chaotic, honestly.
Yes.
Right, guys? Little chaotic, but it's okay. It's the farm life, right?
Yes.
All right, fantastic. Well, thanks, you guys. I really appreciate you all taking some time. Again, since we had to do this twice.
No, thanks for coming out and redoing it.
All right.
Thank you so much, Andrew, for having us.
I hope you enjoyed that episode. I certainly did have a nice time meeting Pete and Becky. Again, I encourage you to visit their farm stand on Wednesday at Hero Way. You can also find them online. And if you're interested, again, if you're a gardener or maybe you're new to Texas and you want to plant some things, take advantage of what Becky's offering with the Texas Technique. I think it's a fabulous thing to be offering. It's nice and topical because it helps you here in Leander. And by helping them here in Leander, you're making a nice big impact for our community. So please support Becky and Pete, as well as all small businesses here in the city of Leander. It's what makes Leander unique and special. So help them out and help us out as a city in the meantime. If you like what we're doing here on Lean and Leander, give us a like on Facebook or hit that subscribe button on YouTube. And obviously, you can download the podcast on your favorite listening device. Visit leanandleander.net and let me know if there's anything that you would like me to cover here on the podcast. I appreciate your support. I look forward to seeing you guys again with the next one. See y'all next time.